everyone, to another episode of the Adeptus Ridiculous Podcast. My name is DK Diamantes, his name is Bricky, and hello again, Karioth. We know why you're here. But before we get into that, if you want to support the channel monetarily, maybe heading over to patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous, where you can get access to the Discord, bloopers if they happen. $15 tier gets you access to all of our posters in just the crispiest digital form ever. Patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous. And Bricky and Karioth, we have a new poster today.
It's poster time.
It is a poster day. A poster day.
It is a poster day. I'll be honest. I was gonna have a guess. I'm not gonna click it yet.
Okay.
I'm just.
Okay.
I feel as if we have gone against the grain a lot, and like before here's a poster that Bricky to make Bricky upset is no longer the case. Now we're just kind of all over the place now. So what's popular now?
Depending on how you look at it, it could make you upset, I suppose.
Screw it. I'm opening it up.
I do like the statement, what's popular now? That's the oldest you've ever sounded.
This is fine. This is tasteful. I'm all right with that.
I was going to say the only reason it might upset you is because it is Eldar adjacent.
No, Drukhari are sick.
That's fair. They are.
I was on the Lore Crimes podcast recently, and we did ranking every faction based on how good their lore is. Very funny to have everyone in that group be like Thousand Suns in the bottom. But
wow.
it was, and Space Wolf S tier felt very good. Got that. Definitely a Space Wolf agenda being pushed there. But Drukhari was the only elf faction we put an A. As Craftworld went B. But yeah, Drukhari were A, and I think it was pretty cool. So I'm cool with Drukhari. They're neat. And I like Baldur's Gate. I like Shadowheart. She's pretty cool.
Yeah. Also, what the hell, Lore Crimes? You have Bricky on to talk about what faction is coolest by lore, and you have me on for a feat tier ranking?
This is completely normal. This is completely acceptable.
I was going to say that tracks. That
tracks extremely.
Tracks.
Not to mention the simple fact that, like, DK, we mostly spoke about like the Lore Crime guys Mpreg in my episode, so it's pretty on brand.
Oh no, we talked about that too, and the copious amounts. Yeah, no, I got that too.
I'm trying to get them I'm trying to get them to do like a King of the Hill image, but all of them Mpreg, and then sell that as a shirt.
Where would someone buy a shirt like that, Bricky? Or the poster even?
Very good point. We can get that stuff down in the description at Orchid 8. You can go ahead and check it out on the Adeptus Ridiculous section. You can go click the link in the description. It'll take you right there. You can go ahead and get yourself a poster or all of the other awesome things like dice, hoodies, get some cool desk mats, and so on.
Ah, I love so on.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best bit, the sew on.
Indeed. The sewing it on is what makes the design, you know?
Yeah.
Also, we're reading the Carcharodon's books, though. I must say, the new Tomb World Necron book has released, and I am very excited for another ranking of Necrons in S tier. There might be Mpreg in that one too, Shy. You don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know what the enemies are.
It's true.
Listen, the effects of Rebecca Ford from Warframe are long lasting.
Don't put this on Red.
I was going to say that's a harsh blame going on right there.
Yeah, but I feel like she'd accept it. I feel like she'd be okay with the statement.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Also, I was going to say, who up warring their beast?
Damn, she wore on my beast till I slaughter. Yes, she do.
That's so stupid. War in my beast till I slaughter, baby.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
So what's the quote, Karioth? I got an itching feeling I can get this one.
Yeah, do we even have a quote? Or
funnily enough, we've abandoned quotes from the first book on because I feel like you get it every time. But
that's weakness. That's a weakness, Karioth.
Because throw a curveball, and actually next week isn't War of the Beast at all, and then see what happens.
I gotta be honest. I have been like giddy excited about this. I am genuinely so I played through the Battlefield 6 campaign recently, and it is like such hot garbage. It is absolutely the most like the gameplay is actually pretty fun. Like there's some pretty good shooty bang bang, don't get me wrong. But the actual like the script, oh my god. Holy hell is it bad. And
so now
it's
you're just looking for something to compare it to. It's
just fantastic. I had such a great time just like enjoying this shit fest. And so I've been all rearing to go for today because I'm like, yay, more shit fest.
Let's go.
Feed me more slop. I demand more.
I need more slop, Kirioth. I need it.
We need it.
Well, there's something that I wanted to just quickly catch us up on, because I don't think I mentioned last week that the title of last week's script was War and Peace. Excellent start for that for Possum. And the title for this week's is War of the Beast Part 2, World War One. So you can expect hopefully more puns coming on down the next 2 weeks.
Lovely.
World War One is excellent.
Classic.
It's very good. So instead of a quote, what I'm going to do is ask you what you remember from last week's episode.
Slaughter.
And it's been specified, apart from slaughter, it's been specified no looking at book covers for the rest of these. That's it now. You can't look at them. You're not allowed to view them. You got to stay away from the book covers.
Okay.
That's fine. I can do that. What do I remember? Slaughter, Imperial Fists,
Last War Protocol.
Yep. Dorn.
Dorn.
Dorn bringing the gang back together. All the Imperial Fists got like murdered.
Slaughtered, you could say.
You could say slaughtered. Orc attack moons are dispensing large amounts of troops over because of Moonfall, the movie.
That was a very key part, I remember. Yeah, Moonfall.
Moonfall, the movie, was a big part of it. The Grandmaster, the Vicious Assassinorum, is being kind of a shitter, or they're being weird.
They are
bit sneaky here and there.
Bit sneaky. That's Sussy Baka, the technical term. I think that's about the most I can remember.
Can you remember what we ended on? The cliffhanger that we left on.
Yeah, the orcs were back in like full force. Like, was it right over Terra? As they were like having like a big celebration thing, they were like, "Hooray! The orcs are dead! Hooray! Hooray!" And it's like, no.
You've nailed it. They're on a big parade to celebrate taking out what they thought was part of the invasion, or was part of the invasion. They got rid of an attack moon. That's impressive. And then a bigger one appeared directly over Terra, mid-parade, and everything went slightly pear-shaped, I think is the term. So we're going to pick up from...
Who the hell says that? What do you mean is the term? Pear-shaped?
If I just dropped it...
I feel like I've actually heard that one before.
Is that another British ism?
Yeah. I mean, pear-shaped. If something's gone pear-shaped, it's all gone wrong. That's pretty...
I feel like that's... Yeah, I've actually heard that one.
Really?
Yeah. That seems right. Or I'm just out of my mind.
I
could be either.
That one before. I mean, Full of Beans is my personal favorite, but okay, yeah, sure, all right, no, that's fine. I'm becoming more and more cultured by the day.
I thought you were going to say acclimatized or infected.
that works too, I guess. Yeah.
So we'll pick up where this massive attack moon showed up over Terra. Now, all things considered, if something were to make an attempt on the throne world, it would likely be handled immediately, and the presence of it would probably be barely a blip on the radar, right? By all accounts, it's a lot harder to hide a moon-sized monstrosity that has suddenly appeared in the sky. Not only did this ruin Lansung's super fun parade, but it also struck fear into the citizens of Terra. Wholly justified, in my opinion. The planet was thrown into borderline anarchy. Riots broke out everywhere, people were rushing to hide, and the Arbites were in a bind. They did their best to restore order, but there was a massive amount of disarray, and thousands upon thousands of citizens died while the High Lords were hiding behind locked and barricaded doors in the Imperial Palace. So, we mentioned in the previous episode that many of the frontier worlds of the Imperium were in a situation where they needed help, and help didn't come. And the only worlds that seemed to stand a chance were the Astartes' homeworlds, or the worlds that were completely uninhabited. This was the case with Terra as well. The fleet was spread out far too thin and far away, the Space Marines were all fighting their own wars to protect their own homes, and worst of all, the greatest ally to mankind had gone silent, because upon arrival of the attack moon, all communication with Mars had ceased, and Fabricator General Kubik had no information to offer at all, which meant that Terra was, by all accounts, completely alone.
Oh.
Heck yeah.
So wait,
Mars going
what happened to
silent
Mars?
is not good.
Yeah.
They're just not picking up the phone.
Yeah, that's not answering.
Oh.
The Fabricator General is, in fact, not calling a call to call.
He's just not
that's-
having it. He's busy.
that's-
He doesn't want anything to do with it. Go away.
Really? Like, I mean, surely Mars can see or has noticed that, oh, wow, look at all them orcs. And
I mean-
realize that something is probably wrong. Like, even if they can't see it, surely it's 40K. They've got sensors that are blaring about crazy Xenos presence in the near vicinity, right?
I mean, lying by omission is being done here. I'm very positive we will be getting there soon.
Gotcha.
Right now, it seems to be a case of, well, your planet, your problem. You
No.
deal with it. We're not going to answer the phone. Kind of harsh, but, given the state of everything, I think can kind of understand it a little bit, maybe.
Things are tough right now, you know?
So
Yeah.
that's a weird way to keep the treaty going, but sure.
Well, you don't need a treaty if the person you got a treaty with has just been
Terra's
wiped out.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah. So the High Lords were in a predicament. Lan Sung, despite having his parade, was an absolute coward, and he was in a state of uncertainty as to the size of this monstrosity above Terra, since it was so much larger than the one that he had faced, and he thought the best thing to do was to be as defensive as possible. As for the riots, they argued whether or not they should deploy the Astra Militarum, but that was swatted down. All eyes went to the Ecclesiarch, as he said that disorder was heresy, and he was asked point blank, well, why don't you try addressing the crowds or something? But it's kind of difficult to pacify a full planet. We're going to cut back to this in a moment. So back above Fal, the words "the final wall has fallen" had just been uttered by our boy Slaughter / Corland. Possum said it's going to be used interchangeably, and boy does he, in a room full of successor chapter masters. And the reaction to this statement was a bit conflicted. Some, like Bowman of the Black Templars, found the call to be welcome in this time, while others, like the Crimson Fists and the Exoriators, were a bit more conflicted. They felt that their ranks would not agree to a coordinated effort, but autonomy was promised to them. There wouldn't be a full merging of the chapters, they would all remain as they were, but they would fight as one. Then they had to decide who was going to lead, and what the front would be. Without hesitation, obviously, Bowman said that he'd take the reins, as the Black Templars had led crusades against the Orks in the past. Slaughter disagreed with this, and he believed that he should lead alongside Bowman, and not only that, but he also knew what the front would be. Per Corland's data at that moment, the most alarmingly underprotected place turned out to be Holy Terra itself, and the lack of an attack moon, the data takes a bit clearly, means that it was ripe for the picking, and Slaughter made this very clear. So I've got something for you to read here, DK.
All right. The Imperial Fists do not exist outside of this chamber. The final wall has fallen, and now Terra is on the verge of falling too. Then he chose to speak the obscene. Perhaps it has. He paused again. But what I said a moment ago is a lie. How can it be? Because the Black Templar stand, the Crimson Fist stand, the Excoriator stand, the Fist's Exemplar stand, I stand. The Sons of Dorn in their thousands are gathering to begin their greatest crusade since the heresy. The Imperial Fists live on in me, in you, and in the war we are about to wage. If Terra falls, the Imperium must and will live on. We will avenge Terra. We will reclaim Terra and annihilate every last Xenos brute who has dared walk its surface. He beat his fist once against his breastplate. He had not yet sought to have any repairs done to the visible damage on his armor. He used its scars now. When the successor chapter masters looked at him, they saw the worst thing that could happen, and they saw the survival beyond that worst thing.
That's a leader's speech.
Yeah.
Come on, that's not bad. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I'd ride behind that.
It's all right. Yeah.
It's fine.
I like that, but the idea of that being all the different chapter masters, it's like, yeah, that'll do. Sure.
I guess that's an okay speech.
You know, this is a comic book movie. It's a movie about a specific superhero, and then there's a world-ending threat. But since it's a movie about a specific guy, Superman is showing up even though he should.
I mean, where are all the other Space Marine chapters? Indeed.
Yeah,
is busy, all right?
Is that ever brought up, or is it genuinely just, I mean, the Ultramarines are, about 3 months warp travel too far away because they're all out doing shit in the Outer Rim. Like, is that ever brought up, or is this just like accepted that this is all the people, that the Fists are the only ones who are here?
Funnily enough, it is kind of addressed a bit later on, where you get a couple of specifics. So it looks like they have tried to kind of go, look, there's a reason why everyone hasn't just turned around and come to Terra. Don't think about it too much. They're over here. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean, they did that in the Horus Heresy. Like in the Siege of Terra, getting the Ultramarines out of there and the Dark Angels out of there was a very large part of the plan.
Yep. Well, without much hesitation, after that inspiring speech, the Sons of Dawn unanimously agreed that they would unite as one and they would form the line on Terra. Shy. That we're going to come back to that later. On Terra, something hadn't happened. It hadn't actually been invaded at this point. So for several days, the Ork attack moon had just hung menacingly above the throne world. That lack of activity prolonged the terror on the surface, and the deaths at this point reached the hundreds of thousands as there was rioting and just general chaos. And it was to the point where Drakan Vangarich wished he could tell the Greenskins that all they needed to do was hang out up there and Terra would just do the job for them. But I like Drakan. He's of all the characters so far, he's definitely sneaky. He's definitely up to stuff. But he also seems the most grounded and sensible about all of them. He's just like, oh, come on. Someone sort this out, please.
Yeah.
In the Chambers of the 12, though, one person had a very direct plan to deal with all of this. So Juskina Tull, who is the speaker for the Chartist captains, which is the representative of the merchant fleets, she proposed the following, which was to take the fight to the Orks. Lansung said, I guess you have some brilliant way to do this without the Imperial Navy, and Tull said, yeah, she actually does have a good plan. So in Tull's eyes, the defence of the Imperium was not just the responsibility of the Navy, the Militarum, or the Astartes, but it was also the responsibility of every citizen in the Imperium, and that if the call to save the throne world was to come, no one would decline it. The merchant fleet and other ships could rally together from the corners of the Sol system and form a direct armada against the attack moon, and basically just serve as transports for the Astra Militarum to the surface of the moon itself. Which is a mad plan from someone in the merchant navy, but I love it.
That's insane, but I mean, I'm kind of cool with it because, it's over Terra and you got to deal with what you got to deal with.
Yeah. You kind of have to.
So to Tull, this was the hour of the proletarian crusade. Tull expected rousing applause, instead got total silence. Vangarich is quite literally sitting there, just silently processing the implications of the plan, because the scale of its madness was so vast, it outstripped horror. I mean, it's not that mad a plan. It's better than anything anyone else has come up with. Come on.
It's better than literally nothing.
I mean, I'm sure they got some kind of dark age technology thing somewhere in the backdrop, but that's probably going to blow the planet up. So
let's just throw ships at it instead. That's probably safer. Eventually, the Lord Commander Militant Veriult was on board. One other key person was also on board, which was Ecclesiarch Measuring. He believed that when great sacrifices were called for, faith and inspiration were more vital than ever. Despite the madness of the plan, the 12 were swayed, and the call to arms was made clear. So I've got something for you, Bricky.
Oh, yippee. The father of mankind has been your shield and your sword for millennia. Will you show your gratitude? Will you stand for holy Terra? Will you answer the call of the God Emperor? Ecclesiarch Messring's voice rang out from the wall-mounted Vox speakers. His words were heard throughout the Imperial Palace, even in the arbitrator's bunkhouse dormitoria. The recruitment call looped. Dormitoria?
Yeah, man.
Dormitoria? Are you kidding me? Again, the damn like meme of like Warhammer fans when you say you're going to the bathroom instead of the poopentaria shittentor. Like
the porcelainarium, obviously.
Yeah, the porcelainarium shititarium. Like, what do you?
Yeah,
Dormitoria? Come on.
Yeah.
For some reason, I could be totally wrong on this, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone got annoyed about that because dormitory actually is like the root is Latin or something. It feels like it could be something like that where they've just gone, yeah, we'll change that as well. Why? Why do you need to?
No, I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to say this, and then some person who knows history and or Latin is going to be like, well, Bricky, dormitoria is actually what they used to call it back in the day. So truly, this is a smart name for it. And then I'm going to beat them with hammers.
Oh, hang on. Chaelia dormitoria is a species of small, limpet-like sea snail, a marine gastropod mollusk in the family Hippoconidae, the hoof snails.
The hoof snails.
Well, there you
go. Crazy. Great.
No, Bricky. The wolf time is not a 40K thing. It's not Ragnarok. It's actually a real part of Norse mythology. I'm like, bro, it's called the wolf time. I just assumed, man.
Damn, we wolfing.
We wolfing. Wait, okay, hold on.
I don't care if it's real. I'm not having it.
No, I need a small segue here. I did not know this until I went on the Lore Crimes podcast. Did you know that the wolfen is not a name they gave the disease, but it's named after a guy named Wolfen?
I'm assuming it's the first case of.
Is that genuinely true?
Why does that not sound so outrageous to me that G-Dub would do that?
That's what the Lore Crimes boys said, is that it's actually named after like a dude whose name is like Wolfen when he fought Russ. And that was like a whole thing. I don't remember the exact specifics, but I'm sure someone in the comments can explain it a bit more. But it is another one of those moments.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't like that. I was already annoyed about the whole Land Raider thing. That was already too much. You can't be doing that with Wolfen as well.
Oh, no. Land Raider, I'm kind of okay. Yeah, it is said that Leman Russ... Though. It is said that Leman Russ possessed the Cup of Wolfen, given this vessel to his original followers, the first men from Fenris, to join the ranks of the 6th Legion, and told them to drink from the cup. Amongst the chosen was a Jarl named Wolfen.
There you go.
Come on.
Confirmed.
You see, the Land Raider one I'm pretty okay with, only because in Master of Mankind is actually played for giggles.
Yeah, and he hates it.
Yeah, and Arkan Land is like, this is stupid. Why? Like that's funny. I'm okay with it. This one, there's no excuse. We did put Space Wolves in S tier for lore, but this one, there's no excuse.
Drop him to C. Swap him with 1,000 Suns.
Straight down. It's the seesaw effect. You've got to have one up there. And if you're going to be putting a guy called Wolfen in and name the Wolfen after him, they've got to go down. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Logan Grimnar moves too fast in Terminator armor, so he was able to run back to S tier with Wolfen.
Fair. That's so true.
His ass back down.
Lore accurate.
Anyway, so yeah, the Ecclesiarch naturally he's given a lovely evangelical speech.
Yep, and it's going out there. But elsewhere, just to answer your previous question about where the hell is everyone else, we get a bit of a view as to what's happening in the galaxy right now when it comes to the Orks. So on Ultramar, The Sons of Gilliman were tied down and unable to do anything. The Blood Angels were able to successfully take down an attack moon, but they were too far away to provide any sort of aid to Terra. The only Loyalist chapter that had any units to spare were the Iron Hands, who sent 3 companies towards Terra, but they were too far out. Basically, any way you can think of that was important, there was an attack moon. That's pretty much how the Orcs dealt with it. It was just fling attack moons at pretty much everybody.
Well, I mean, if you've got that many attack moons, I guess that's what you would do with them. Just throw them at everything. Sure. Seems like a good orc plan.
There were Reapers?
If it works, it works.
Air quotes.
So, on the far fringes of the Maelstrom, a Black Templar crusade reported to Corland and Beaumont that they could not withdraw because they had just encountered the Orcs, as well as the Iron Warriors, because it turns out not just the Loyalists who were in trouble. This grand company of Iron Warriors was under the watchful eye of Warsmith Calcator. Now, you're going to need to remember his name later.
God, of course the Black Templars are out there in the Maelstrom. You know they wouldn't go anywhere near the female strom.
So true.
So
true.
I mean, it's pretty. I mean, the Orcs are a threat to everyone, and the Iron Warriors are not a fan. What is that image shot?
That is obviously a horse vomiting.
That's so much vomit. It's so much.
Well, it is a horse.
What the hell is this?
You know, thanks, Shy.
Good God. All right. So what was I was waiting to make that joke the whole time. What was the name of the Iron Warrior again?
It was Warsmith Calcator.
Calcator, thank you.
Slaughter number 2.
So that was a quick shift to other things, right? Well, speaking of quick, the assembling of the Proletariat Crusade was fairly quick in itself. The largest mobilization of Imperial civilians was rushed due to the unknown factor of the attack moon. There was no set time frame, they just had to act as fast as possible. They amassed thousands of ships, but there was very little by the way of armour and weapons. The goal was to breach the moon's defences, drop the Militarum payload, and tear the moon apart from the inside. Great plan. So the fleet, to be fair, absolutely blitzed the defences of the moon. The Orcs sent fighters towards the Armada at all sides, but much like the Imperial Armada, the Orcs weren't firing as much as they could. I mean, they had a neat little trick, if we remember. They could send even the smallest of ships out to teleport Orcs on board without trouble. This proved to be a mistake, though, because these vessels were filled to the teeth with Astra Militarum and the radicalized Frateris militia that was formed thanks to the ecclesiastical call to arms. Battles broke out on board the ships, but the Armada didn't stop. And even with the ships they picked off, the Orcs could not stop the utterly massive tide of humans. One ship ran the gauntlet and proved that landing on the moon was possible. The Militant Fire. Fueled by the Dream and followed by hundreds more nutcase vessels, the Militant Fire brought the vision of Jacinka Tull to the Orcs. This is such a good reversal of what you'd expect from an Orcish invasion. I actually quite like it.
Remind me again, because I may be getting my time frames mixed up. What millennia is this?
So this is after Heresy, but before 40k. This is the weird in-between times before we had a proper emperor-based, religion.
No, of course,
it's catching steam.
Is it 33, 34? Because you said Fraternist Militia, and I'm like, that means this is pre-Doge Vandire, yeah?
Let me go and just double check. So we are 544 M32.
And okay, so it is, because I'm pretty
Roughly.
sure Sisters and Vandire was 36 or something, 35, 36.
Yes.
Okay, so because you said Fraternist Militia, and then I will not have men under arms is the that's the whole thing.
Yep.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, I mean we love a good whipped up down with GDI type thing, little militia group there. Love that.
Well, so I don't know the timeline at all. It was just is this 35, 36? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's sometime before that happened. There you go. That's easy to keep track of.
Mm-hmm.
So the March on the Moon begins. Over 100 Lehman Russ battle tanks, all the variants, 50 Chimeras, 40 Hellhounds, they formed a massive wall on the attack moon, and the unrelenting push began. The Orks just broke against the wall of Imperial armor like foam on rocks, but they kept coming. Line after line, Ork after Ork, it was a hellish barrage. But the barrage of the Crusaders was like a human tide. There is a description of what happened to an Ork war boss, for example, from the perspective of arbitrator Galatia Haas and Commissar Declan Sever. What a name. There you go, DK.
The Laz did nothing against its armor. It turned, but then there were hands pulling her and Sever out of its path, and a storm surge of crusaders brandishing bayonets crashed into the monster. It roared at them, smashed heads to pulp with its hammer, but they kept coming in endless, desperate frenzy. There were so many. They climbed over each other as they struck at the Ork. Haas made it to her fleet. Sever was already up, exhorting the civilians who streamed by on either side, buffeting him in their rush. She witnessed the impossible, an Ork submerged by the human tide. Dozens of crusaders died, but they trampled the Ork to death. Damn!
That's so funny.
What an insane
How does
way
it
for an
feel,
war boss to go.
Ork bastard? How does it feel?
I mean, Orks would never trample someone to death. That's not fun enough.
That's
No.
true. You don't get to
No, they might-
savor it enough, right? Yeah.
Might dance on them a bit, but no, not just a straight trample.
That's fair.
Again, like there's so many people on this moon that they trampled an armoured Ork war boss to death. The humans were advancing, the Orks were retreating. To the people that continued to advance, they viewed this as a victory. But there was just one problem with this. It's an attack moon, but an attack moon is not a natural celestial body. And although the surface had an atmosphere and was traversable, it didn't mean that it wasn't a war machine. As the humans began to slide towards the doors that the Orks were escaping into, it was suddenly as if the mountains were sliding along with them. The ground beneath the feet of the humans began to shake, as if it were a machine that came to life. The surface of the moon was beginning to change. The hills and the mountains ground up like teeth in a drill. It was a massive trap. There was nowhere to run. The terrain shuffled, and the surface of the moon tore the once glorious armada to shreds.
Oh.
Just a tectonic plate. Just like, all right, have that dealt with.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
they got
kinda hard to fight
4D chest.
By Orks
mean-
of all people.
I know.
I mean, there's an Ork mech or two who's like, this is my crumping machine. And then they just, you just crump them to bits. This just completely like adjust the mountain and it falls on them or something. I mean, that's pretty orky.
True. I thought you were going to say it literally just like, oh yeah, it was just Unicron style. A mouth opened up on the planet and it,
I don't know what Unicron is.
Unicron D's. Anyway.
I mean,
Oh,
there's
dear.
there's the big fat Emperor's Children dude.
It's true, yeah, there's the big lad in space.
That's Unicron. That's it's a
Gundam?
space. It's a planet that eats other planets. It's a Cybertronian planet that eats planets. That's its fuel.
If it's
Literally, it
Cybertronium, does that mean Transformers?
Yeah, Transformers. That's their like home planet.
Okay. I mean,
Cybertron.
I liked it more when it was like a car.
They still have cars and jets, F-15 Eagles and such. You know.
Did you know that the Starscream magic card, the moment you start losing, becomes substantially worse? It's very funny.
That's so Starscream coded.
Yeah.
That's
I
excellent.
love that actually.
So the terrain that changes on the moon, that is visible from Terra. That's how significant a shift it was. And what followed that was silence. While dealing with the horrors from the security of the Imperial Palace, the 12 picked up the signal of one Terran ship approaching Terra whilst transmitting codes. And it was the Militant Fire, that first ship that landed on the moon itself. It was permitted to land on Terra and was met by Vangarich and his entourage of Lucifer Blacks. The captain stepped slowly out, and when asked if he escaped, the captain said, no, they wanted to be escorted to the Senatorium. The they in question were 3 orcs. Vangrich discerned that it was a leader and 2 subordinates, and they were wearing leather with the signs of orc clans, but it looked like formal wear, and the orcs were unarmed. And when asked what they were, the captain of the militant fire said a terrible word. Ambassadors.
Oh,
Sneaky blood axe gits.
orc ambassadors, huh? Oh boy.
As extremely non-orky, but I can definitely see that as like a blood axe play.
Yep, definitely.
Go full sneak. Full duplicitous sneak. That is
wearing
great.
all purple.
Would that just make the clothes invisible, though? Mind you, could be into that. So, Vangerich brought the entire group to the Senatorium and explained that they were ambassadors. When the disgusted High Lords asked if the captain of the vessel was their interpreter, the lead orc said in perfect Gothic, "Don't need an interpreter. We tell you how to surrender. You surrender. Easy."
All right, that's
That
a little
is
bit
very
more
orky,
orky now.
to be
Yeah,
fair.
that's what you'd expect from an orc. That's way more on brand.
We're getting a little more orky now.
Mm-hmm.
The leader introduced himself as Bezrak, and he said that the great beast had the humans by the guts. If the humans struggled, he'd rip them out. But if the humans surrendered, they could keep them. Generous. He asked them to choose, and to choose now. The High Lords, funnily enough, just began shouting left and right. Zero cohesion. Some left and refused to speak, others just shouted insults at the orcs. Bezrak slammed his staff to the ground, saying that humans were useless and worse than snotlings. Utterly...
At first I was like, this is so non-orky. And now they're like, you can keep your guts. And I'm like, okay, never mind. I changed. I've never done a 180 faster than I have right now.
Yeah, this is definitely much more on brand orc that you expect. And yeah, good. Glad to see you back, orcs. Glad to see you're still you.
Pivoting straight to insulting them as well. Just like,
Mhm.
they're not
Are
giving
you
an
wishing
answer.
snotlings, you geeks?
He decided they were utterly impossible to reason with, and said, break them, kill them, eat them. That's good. Don't try to make them think. It can't be done. So he gave the 12 one last chance to give him an answer, and when they couldn't, he said, "So die. Done here," then turned around and left back to the ship.
You know, I'm suddenly way more in favor of orc ambassadors. That's great. You know what? Hell yeah.
This reminds me of that one orc from Dawn of War who's talking to the Inquisitor, who's like, "I like your hat, by the way," and
Yes,
like, tries to get
blood
tries to
flag.
get her.
Yeah.
yeah. It reminds me a little bit of them, and I always like that.
I love the idea of showing up and being introduced as an ambassador, and all you say is, I mean, you either surrender or we kill you. And that's it. That's all you ever do. That's the entirety of your ambassadorial role every single time. It's like, I think you might be overstating your position here, but sure. Okay, the orcs leave. They're gone from the halls. Now, Possum has a question. And that question is that he would love to know what you think happens next. Legitimately, genuinely, what do you think happens next? And I will state, it says right here, if you can guess, I will eat a shoe.
Oh, wow.
So what happens next after all of the orcs leave?
Yeah, after the orcs leave, what happens next?
I mean, the sensible answer is that all the High Lords continue to argue with each other, yell at each other, maybe someone gets shot, and then they attempt to kill the orc ambassadors that just left, and nothing changes.
Yeah, that seems too obvious, though, because otherwise, if that was what it was, Possum wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, I'll eat my shoe."
I mean,
so
them surrendering is also just as stupid, though, and wouldn't happen.
Yeah, true. There's a part of me that thinks that maybe they're just like, oh, maybe we should try and do a treaty, and they actually try to like hail the orcs and be like, hey, what if we do like a ceasefire treaty thing? and they try to like be diplomatic with orcs, which is just dumb because the orcs just told them to die.
I have no idea
Okay.
what happens.
Okay.
Kirioth, what happens?
Honestly, I would say those are two very sensible guesses. But as you both correctly identified already, this is not a sensible series of books. The floor of the Great Chamber shook and cracked. Tiers collapsed. The Imperium's futile dignitaries tumbled over each other in a human cascade. Toxins competed with panicked screams. Vangerich ran towards the exit of the Great Chamber where he saw Mikado yelling into a Vox handset. The captain looked up as Vangerich drew near. He lowered the Vox set. He was handling it as if it had bitten him. "Is it the Orks?" he asked. Had they somehow inserted a bomb beneath the palace? Had he given them the opportunity to do so? Now, I just want to point out, this is the final quote from the 4th book.
I know.
The final line.
I think I know this. I think I remember this now. I think I know what happens. Yes,
That
yes.
would be a pretty sneaky blood axe thing to do, to be like, oh yeah, we'll go over there and pretend for treaty and we'll leave a bomb.
It ain't.
That's such an orc
blood
thing.
axes. It ain't blood axes.
You sweet summer child.
I remember this now. I remember this.
I'll give you the last line. "No, Grandmaster," Mikado said. His voice was disbelieving. "It's the Eldar."
Oh, never mind. I was wrong again.
Oh, it's so the Eldar show up.
What?
Huh. Just out of nowhere, just like the gang's all here now. We gotta shoehorn the Eldar in somehow, and so they.
I don't see what's so difficult to understand about this. At the very end of the 4th book, having spoken to the Orc ambassadors who then leave, the Eldar attack the palace from below. Like, what's the problem?
I'm sorry. I was wrong. I thought this is the part where the Grandmaster, the Officio Assassinorum, kills everyone. But I may be either jumping ahead or have the wrong story. So this might be a different event. I don't remember. What the hell are the Eldar doing?
Yeah, what are the Eldar? Well, I mean, I guess if you're the Eldar and it's like, oh yeah, the orcs and the humans are cutthroating it against each other. When else would be the best time to go in and try to pick the bones clean, right? Humanity is kind of like on its last legs. The orcs are kind of like, their attention is diverted. So, like, I guess
from under the Imperial Palace, like we're on Terra.
Yeah, but like again, this is War of the Beasts. So, does it have to make sense?
I love that. Look, if we take into account what this series is, we're allowed to suspend all logic and just say anything, all right?
Right? We have like 8 people named Slaughter, and you can't for 1 second believe that Eldar are attacking from below?
No, it's not the Eldar. Eldar
it's that
being
anyone's attacking from below.
Yeah, it's one, that anyone is there, and 2, why are they there?
Well, I have an answer to that question, but before that, it's time for something completely different. Things were getting busy with the assembling of the last war in the Foul system. We officially have the combined forces of the Crimson Fist, the Fist Exemplar, the Excoriators, and the Black Templars, and the Iron Knights, plus some others that they forgot about and they'll bring up like 3 books from now.
Kirioth?
The only ones... yeah.
Kirioth, stop. I command you to stop. What do you mean, until then? Are you telling me that the end of this book ends with it's the Eldar and they completely segue away for like the next book?
Book 4 ends with that, but there's still other things happening. So,
they do.
Book 4 literally, like, it's the final quote from the 4th book. It finishes with, his voice was disbelieving, it's the Eldar. I mean, that's how that book finished.
And they just...
Yeah, that's rough, man.
Okay,
that's rough.
War of the Beast,
keep
baby.
Going. Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm crashing out internally.
Just get so annoyed at this. Imagine how annoyed you've been if you've been reading the actual books. There would have been a gap between the 4th and the 5th one, and the 4th one ended like that. I mean, come on. So the only ones at this point who were unable to be contacted and thus did not heed the call were the Soul Drinkers, who were off doing God knows what. They were packing some serious heat, this lot, and in case it wasn't super obvious at this point, Corland had become chapter master of the Imperial Fists and was referred to as such. Not all that much of an achievement, unless you count just still being alive compared to everyone else, worthy of being chapter master, but he managed it, so, at this point, we're talking like 20 battle barges worth of Space Marines, and now that they're all gathered, they are off to Terra. We kind of gave you that as a little palate cleanser, honestly. Possum decided that you needed just a little something after the Eldar showing up underneath the Imperial Palace and blowing a chunk of it up, because the Eldar had arrived on Terra. Specifically, 7 or 8 Harlequins, who showed up in the Imperial Palace, led by Shadowseer Lhaerial Rey, singing one of their songs and dancing at the behest of one Eldrad Ulthran. Now, before I explain what they were doing, I would like you, Bricky, to just read out what the Shadowseer was proclaiming as she was making her way through the palace, right?
Harlequins. Stop! My name is Lhaerial Rey, Shadowseer of the Ceaseless Song. I come here at command of Eldrad Ulthran to... No, that's like a orc name. I come here at the command of Eldrad Ulthran to deliver a message of great import to the Emperor of Mankind. Friendship! Cease your fighting!
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
Kirioth, I'm punching you through the screen. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you're the closest target.
It's fair. It's fair. I'll take it. Now, what you just said, DK, about good luck with that. I mean, you're not wrong, but there is a good reason for the cries of friendship, cease your fighting, because obviously there was fighting. And that chant, it sounds all peaceful and good, but it does hit different when you consider that the Harlequins were literally just killing everything in their way whilst they were making their way to the Golden Throne. So
while they're screaming friendship, cease your fighting, friendship, they're just tearing through everything that walks.
Wait,
the Harlequins were just murdering everybody.
Okay.
So
is this the clip that Custodes fans mauled about all the time about like a bunch of Harlequins in the palace?
It may well be, because this, combined with various explosions and other fanfare, it was to distract those who tried to stop the dance. That was, of course, until they encountered the Custodes. Despite their love for the arts, they weren't really in the mood for clown girl honk heaven and decided it was curtains for the Harlequins. That is,
nice,
I'll be honest,
awesome.
I haven't looked that reference up. I'm hoping someone can explain it.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Okay. No further notes.
Yeah, no notes.
So, one by one, the Custodes took down the Harlequins, but they did suffer losses. One Harlequin, notably, took out 4 of them before dying.
What?
One Harlequin took out 4 Adeptus Custodes?
Yes.
What?
Wow.
When was this book? When was these books written again?
2012. Hang on, let me double check again. I have to go back to the 2015 to 2016.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow, one Harlequin took out 4 custodians?
Because we've talked about this
only took a few swipes. Only took a few.
We've talked about this a few times. Back in the day, in like the early 2000s, Gaunt's Ghost era, Space Marines were just like really good humans. And so you'd have a bunch of guardsmen pretty easily taking out a couple of Iron Warriors, and you have like the Expendables level type stuff with with Gaunt's Ghosts.
Sure, but they're custodians. These aren't just average Space Marines.
No, but actually, though, meme aside, what in the because like in that case, I would understand.
I think you say, what in the hell is happening?
Yeah, because like, okay, if this was like back in the day, Custodians are like slightly stronger than Space Marines. They're slightly stronger than humans. Early 2000s, therefore, Custodians are not the I'm going to 1v1 an entire army that they are currently. That makes more sense. Because the writing was different. Now I'm a little confused.
like 2015, 2016, that is not long ago enough for there to be that much of a bizarre shift in how powerful Custodes are.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit mad. Mind you, I'm saying that we just had this lot show up under the Imperial Palace, bomb it, make their way to the throne room whilst one of them sings about not fighting anymore, whilst the people escorting her murder everyone inside. I think logic and sense left the building quite some time ago. I think they walked out with the Orc ambassadors, and it's going to take a while for them to walk back in, you know?
So far, the most logical person in this entire series are the Orc ambassadors.
They're the characters who make the most sense. Oh, Lord. Eventually, the only one that stood was the Shadowseer herself, and she got dangerously close, like quite literally the Eternity Gate in front of the Warhound Titans close. She was stopped by Captain General Bayreuth, who ordered her immediate execution. Before this could be done, however, Drakan Vangerich and Inquisitorial Representative Veritas arrived and requested that she be interrogated instead. As this was happening, the Shadowseer offered a token to the Inquisitor, a token that she said was given to Eldrad Ulthran by lost Primarch Vulkan. So I've got a thing for you to have, DK?
Whoa! Lhaerial reached into a small pouch strapped to her thigh. From it, she removed an object and passed it to Veritas. The Inquisitor's power armor whined as he reached for it. He opened his hand. In it was a large tooth capped with exquisitely worked gold. A tooth of a Nocturnian salamander. It could be as you say. These creatures are found only on Vulkan's homeworld. But how do I know this is not a trick and that it was Vulkan who gave this to your master? I have no master save the laughing gods, said Lhaerial. That token is all I have to prove my good intent. If you do not value it, then Eldrad Ulthran underestimated you. My task is done and my life is forfeit. I die laughing at the fools that would not listen to sense. All right.
I mean, I won't lie. I die laughing at the fools that wouldn't listen to sense is a pretty hard quote.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, put that on the tombstone, too. Like, damn, dude.
So, while being interrogated, Lhaerial stated that the Emperor and Farseer Ulthran are known to one another and that the crisis with the Orks needed to pass because the true threat of the Dark Gods was growing. She also stated that she brought great news of another gift. A massive force of Space Marines were on the way, and as a free token of goodwill, Ulthwé had calmed the Imperium around the throne world to allow for their arrival at a much faster rate. She urged that they don't be distracted by the Orks and focus on the threat of chaos, as humanity was needed to fight back against the horrors of the warp. She also knew that she was not going to live after this. Her final words to Vangerich were, "Be hasty, already the primordial annihilator works against you," before she was sealed in the dark cells under Terra forever.
Oh.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on.
They put her in prison forever? Forever?
Yeah, she's gone.
Well, no, I don't know. So Shia, I don't believe she messed with the warp. She, Ulthwé, the craft world, I'm assuming their seers and folks helped soothe the warp, right?
Yeah, that was an Eldrad-led thing.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. That being said, I have a question that you may have already answered that I need. Why did they like gas and bomb the High Lords if they came in peace?
Unknown.
What?
They're Eldar. They're funny, goofy people. Obviously, they just do stuff. You know?
Did they like?
I just don't know.
Blow up? Did they blow up the floor and like have them all like start falling to their death and stuff? And they're like, it's the Eldar, and then the Eldar are there and they arrive and they're like, hey, what's up, guys? So we calmed the warp. We let more Space Marines come by. Careful, chaos is here. Anyway, see ya. And then they just what?
They also slaughtered their way to the throne room.
Yeah, that's such a weird way to deliver like that message. That is odd.
I feel like if the postman knocked on the door and then, well, no, if the postman kicked the door in and then punched you in the face and then handed you your package
after murdering your family.
Yeah, you would also be somewhat cheesed off. You know,
you'd
be a little bit annoyed.
The UPS guy is a Kool-Aid man, blows through your door, shoots your dad, and then is like, by the way, heads up. By the way, there's a maniac in the neighborhood.
What do you mean you don't believe me, idiot? Like,
I just okay,
Oh,
dude. This
God.
is some like Last Jedi, Ryan Skywalker stuff. It's like it was left on a cliffhanger, and then it's basically like, do whatever you want with the cliffhanger. They just did something.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes to some way of explaining just how weirdly disjointed and bizarre this whole series is. I mean, just the fact that the entire series was out in 2 years, having 6 people write it, insane choice.
Yeah,
Absolutely
across 12 books.
batshit. Yeah, like, who? Oh, dear. I was going to say whose idea was that. It kind of worked for the Horus Heresy, sort of.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't, Kirioth. There's like 50-something books, and like half of them aren't that good.
Right. It didn't need to be. Some of them are totally irrelevant to anything and everything as well.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are just an absolute goddamn slog. It's unreal. I mean, I feel like they looked at the Horus Heresy and went, hey, this worked out great. Let's do it again, but smaller, without noting just how many books people like to skip from that series and only focusing on the fact that people really like certain books from that series, you know?
I don't have the meme, but there's like the meme of after I finished every single book in the Horus Heresy series, and then the reply is, are they any good? And then their reply was no.
Some of them are.
Some of them are very good, but I get the
the meme. Yeah.
You're vibing with the meme. There's an energy of the meme. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. The transit for the Space Marines picks up. They're able to get to Terra quicker. Slaughter is able to contact the High Lords of Terra directly, who let him know what was happening above in the skies of Terra. But more importantly, he was informed of a bigger problem. Though the forces of the Successors were mighty, they were still outgunned. They needed help, and a certain red planet needed to come back into the fold. So, Slaughter gave the Fabricator General a quick ring and said point blank, we move immediately upon the attack moon. Kubik retorted by essentially saying, Juskina Tull thought that was a pretty good idea too. Slaughter was not happy about this response, and after a bit of posturing and calling out Mars for their lack of action, the red planet agreed to provide aid. But it was a bit haphazard, all things considered. In no time at all, though, the last wall burst into orbit above the attack moon and unleashed absolute hell into the unwanted celestial body. As they attacked, they saw that the Orks were actually in the process of refitting the captured vessels from the Proletariat Crusade. But the kit bashing was all for naught, because Corland positioned the fleet between the moon and Terra itself and began to unleash cyclonic torpedoes at it.
Ooh.
Okay, so we're just firing exterminatus devices at the moon. I mean that's a fine that's a fine way to do it, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So as the battle's taking place above the surface, Space Marines, including Slaughter, teleported to the surface towards the gate so they could enact a ground assault with Terminators. As they marched towards the gate, they found something along the way. Survivors from the Crusade. We'll get into what they're experiencing in a bit, as it's fairly relevant to a separate thread of the story that's happening concurrently, but regardless, they were all saved. Hooray, onto the gate. Melter charges placed around the gates. The Space Marines were going to teleport out in a few minutes, but almost on cue, the Orks began to pour out towards the Space Marines, including a presumed leader of the droves of Orks. Of course, not a normal leader. It was a beast that was twice Corland's height and broader than a battle tank. Unable to resist a quick fight, Slaughter attempted to take on promised consort Radon, but was immediately knocked on his ass. But timing's everything. They were able to teleport out of there. So it was all good, apart from the chapter master of the Iron Knights, who sacrificed himself to allow for it to happen. Oh well.
Nice sneaky Elden Ring reference in there, buddy.
Yeah, not bad on that one. Also, chapter master of uncared about, unheard of chapter, very easy to get killed off.
Oh, of course.
Just classic red shirt behavior, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, Shy, don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure we've got void generators on the planet. There's nothing wrong with blowing up a planet with cyclonic torpedoes near your planet. They did it in the Night Lord trilogy. They blew up a bunch of moons to destroy like a Blood Angel ship. Perfectly fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's canon for sure. Canon physics.
It's just not a problem. It's fine. So the charges were detonated, the space battle was a success, and the War Gate where the moon came from was destroyed, so it couldn't escape and couldn't get reinforcements. The surface was almost completely destroyed, and the Orks were defeated. Lord Commander of the Imperium, Udin Mact Udo, provided the Astartes with badges in honour of their actions defending Terra, but then they were quickly whisked away to a war council to discuss next actions. These actions included the Lord Commander saying that Courland has no authority, and that the Space Marines present were in service to humanity, and therefore were under his authority. That's convenient, isn't it? He said that the collection of so many Space Marines was a massive cause for concern for the Senatorum. I mean,
I don't blame him, actually.
It's not wrong, but also, read the room, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of got the same vibe as, it's been how long? 2,000 years since the last time as many Space Marines were around here? I'm a little spooked.
Yeah, a little nervous. This
Yeah.
usually doesn't go super well, so let's tread carefully.
Awkwardly looks at the hole in the wall, aka the dude on the throne over there, pulls at collar. Goo.
Udo demanded that they leave the remnants of the attack moon alone and just remain until orbit until the Navy got back. The attack moon being left alone was at the request of the Fabricator General for reasons that were not known. Some sort of grand experiment, maybe. As for any sort of victory celebrations, Udo demanded that the gathered brothers give up their individual chapter colours and dress in the livery of the Imperial Fists, as word of the total eradication of the chapter could not get out. They needed to remain on Terra and keep up the facade. Oh, and he was going to take credit for the defeat of the Orks as well. The successor chapters, funnily enough, not happy about this, and the insult to Slaughter about not being a chapter master, despite all his efforts to unify the Sons of Dawn, really cut deep. Which is fair enough, I think.
Yeah, that's very, very fair. Yeah. Just doing human things, eh?
Now, there's no easy segue over to this, because we're aware at this point that the War of the Beast takes many a twist and a turn in unexpected directions, and we're going to be taking something of a massive leap back to something that was mentioned quite a while ago now. The Iron Warriors, remember them? They're in the story as well for some reason.
I mean, when you have Imperial Fists, you gotta have
the warriors, yeah.
It's true. They've got to be in there somewhere. Warsmith Calcator was engaged quite heavily with the Orks near the Maelstrom when a crusade of Black Templars arrived. Calcator was running out of options as the Orks had been tearing through the various worlds they had some presence on, and they ran the risk of a two-fronted battle. So Calcator ordered his Grand Company to jump to the world of Zelenic IV. Marshal Magnaric was present in this crusade, and he had quite the beef with Calcator because it was Calcator that caused him to be interred into his dreadnought, and he'd been obsessed with vengeance on him ever since, so much so that he refused to follow the mandated sleep cycles that are required for dreadnought usage.
Oh.
Calcator was his white whale, hardcore. He really wanted him. He was his white whale. He wanted him dead. Calcator arrived at Zelenic IV and found himself immediately pinned down. Orks were on the surface, and despite fighting inward, the Black Templars just blitzed him, pushing through lines of Orks just to get to Calcator. Magnaric was driven by the desire to kill him. Marching through the lines, Magnaric chanted that he was there to end Calcator and that the Emperor decreed that he was to be the one to slay him. And eventually he found the Warsmith, and it played out in a very curse you Bale manner. There you go, Bricky.
Hell yeah, I love a good curse you Bale meme. This time a voice sounded from the building in reply. Magnaric! So high must I be in your regard that you chase me for 1,000 years and more into the teeth of the greatest orc Wa since Ulanor. Calcator! Boomed the dreadnought. His mnemonics hissed, and the great block of his right shoulder shifted, lifting his assault cannon high. The barrels spun once and halted. Magnaric's targeting array danced over the ruin, picking out the Iron Warriors in green outlines. Calcator was not among them. You are looking well. Iron without suits you. I am unmoved by your mockery, boomed Magnaric. Come out so that I might kill you.
Okay, that's pretty dope. Right,
you're
right. That's
fears made flesh.
That's so curse you, Bale, but I love that. Ah, man, that's hype as hell. Let's go.
It's so funny. I don't know. That's the kind of insanely over the top, stupid dialogue that I love from Warhammer. And so this makes me very happy.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's pretty good. Hold on to that.
Oh, no.
Please. Hold on to that joy.
Oh, no.
Hold on to that joy and never let it leave your heart, for there is... Wait till you hear the next
Cherish
part.
it.
Oh, no. Carry on.
Oh, dear. Okay. There was a problem with all of this, which is that they were in a bit of a stalemate. They both had their weapons pointed at one another, and the Orks were rallying. Both sides told their respective leaders that they ran the risk of being wiped out by the Orks, so the two hated foes agreed to meet to discuss options.
To discuss options? I don't think it's going to turn into a chat. I do not. There's no way.
Iron Warriors and Imperial Fists are chatting?
There's no way this doesn't devolve into a celebrity deathmatch, right?
I'm sorry. Black Templars.
Yeah. This is a crusade.
Oh.
This is like a sin.
It's insane. Magnarich and Calcator met in private, and after an extensive recounting of either side of the heresy, they agreed that they did, in fact, have quite a good time, and they did have both a degree of respect for each other. They agreed that they would combine their efforts together, side by side, to fight the Ork threat, and upon defeat of the Orks, go their separate ways. For the first time since the heresy, the sons of Perturabo and Rogel Dawn would stand as a united front against a common foe.
What? That actually happens? This is the meme part of the possum script, right? This is the part where it's like, haha, got you. That would never happen. Tee hee. Here's what actually happened. Yeah.
It gets worse.
Okay, Kirioth, I just had a bit of I disassociated, and I realized I was making the exact same face for the last minute. And so I decided to take a photo of myself so that you could see. I'm just I've been doing this for the last while now. That old thing where close your mouth, the bugs are gonna get into it or something.
That somehow needs to be the thumbnail for this episode.
Yeah, how do we?
That's so.
Wait. This you are somewhat joking, right? This is like a bit.
This has to be a bit, right? This has to be a possum swerve.
You are, because you said that I just read the Curse You Bail speech. You say that both of these people met in private?
Yeah, and agreed to work together until the Orks were seen off.
You're shitting me.
It has to be a bit.
What the fuck is this?
No, it is legitimately the first time since the heresy. Sons of Dawn and Perturabo stand as a united front against a common foe. They've got a job to do, all right? They're just gonna, work together as you would, apparently.
I just keep looking over and seeing Bricky's face just looks so good.
I know.
It's just so perfect. Oh, geez.
Okay. Just keep going, man.
Yeah, continue. Let's just get through this.
The defeat in the voice is heartbreaking. Okay, so we're there. Okay, let's move on from that because it's clearly and legitimately upsetting. The problem is that wouldn't be the last time that this would happen, because not all of the Sons of Dawn were really fond of the last wall idea. One in particular was first captain of the Fist, Exemplar Zerberin, who personally found the concept to be heretical. But, luckily for him, on his way to rejoin with the rest of his long-lost brothers, his battle barge, the Dantalion, was slammed with fluxes of warp energy caused by the volume of ships heading to the recon point. This resulted in comms getting jammed, and data being incoherent and garbled. This, combined with a sudden attack from the Orks, resulted in them spiralling far and away from Fal. Their hope to return to Fal was hampered by their damaged ship, but they fortunately received a Vox transmission. Would anyone like to guess who the Vox transmission might be from?
If it's Iron Warriors, I'll be upset, but I want it to be Eldar. Just badly.
I was gonna say it's probably the Iron Warriors, isn't it?
No, we're not in Tau zone yet. I think Tau is like a couple thousand years later, right?
I love that. Just who cares? that's the main answer that I got from Shai.
Shai's answer's fucking Tau. Who cares?
Unexpectedly, it was from Calcator. But it's okay, because he was offering help. In his words, favours given, favours owed. Orcs were heading their way, and Calcator offered the dance line coordinates for safety. These coordinates were for the Iron Warriors' fortress world of Prax. However, there was one little problem. One little problem. There's fucking problems all over the shop with this. The Iron Warriors had been away for a bit of time, and the Orcs had taken over, unbeknownst to both sides. And they were doing some terrible things. We mentioned a bit ago that the humans that were saved from the attack moon were experiencing something. And we get a very, very, very graphic description of what the Orcs had planned for humanity at large on Prax. In descriptions that come dangerously close to that of the Demonculaba, we see thousands of humans, filthy, terrified, and acting animalistically. No hair, no teeth, no nails. But they do have plenty of other things, including a brand on the side of their heads that looked like a snake. DK, if you could do the honours.
Yum. The man under Mendel Riach's ministration gave one last grunt as the apothecary's Narthesium retracted. There are dangerously high levels of synthetic growth enhancers, testosterone, and other steroids in his blood. I would need to return him to Dantelion's apothecarian for more thorough investigations. Ugh.
Pretty bad.
I don't get it.
So the Orcs were taking humans and genetically rendering them into livestock.
Yeah, they're just juicing like all the humans into these mutated, whatever, hairless, teethless.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean
nailless.
that's gross and everything. I don't know. I guess I thought it'd be worse.
Yeah. I kind of thought it was going to be worse than just, we're pumping them full of drugs.
Yeah.
But with no teeth, hair, or nails either, so they can't do anything to defend themselves. They're just all
the end
like
outcome
a factory chicken.
The end outcome is gross, but I think we were expecting something on the level of like, this is how we make servitors.
Yeah, I mean, like the Imperium has done worse things to their own people. I'm not particularly I don't know. This is not particularly that bad as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I don't know. I was expecting, not that it's good. I was just expecting it to be worse.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that. That's fair. Yeah. There was nothing to be done for this lot, despite efforts on clearing out the Orcs. Calcator and Zurbarin realized, just to remind you again, Calcator, Iron Warrior, Zurbarin, Fist Exemplar, so Imperial Fist Successors Chapter, realized there was only one way to handle this, which was Exterminatus. Before they could finalize the plan, however, a group of Tempestus Scions encountered Zurbarin and, instead of helping, saw the Iron Warriors and branded Zurbarin a traitor, which is totally justified. Because
hell yeah, dude. Giant guard W, once again.
They're more on it than the Space Marines are at the moment. In that moment, Jesus Christ, Zurbarin did the unthinkable. He killed the Scions as a means to keep what was happening quiet.
Yeah, that'll
Loyal Son of Dawn there.
Massive guard W. A bunch of Tempestus Scions see Iron Warriors and a loyalist guy next to the Iron Warriors and is like, that clearly doesn't make any sense. Open fire. What ballers.
They knew the score. They knew the score and they paid the price for it. We are going to come back to this in a later episode because that whole side of things is far from over. But it is somewhat mind-blowing to me that somehow somehow two chapters directly descended from the Imperial Fist, like straight up. Oh, Iron Warriors. Yeah, let's work together. One of them is mortal enemy, the guy who killed him, or like nearly killed him, and put him in a dreadnought. And then mid-fight, they're like, you know what? I mean, we would like to, really try and go full murder on each other, but there's a lot of orcs here. Should we deal with that first and then just not do it? Like, what? What is it? What is it? What is this? Why? What was the... Oh, dear.
Yeah.
I was doing fine. The first time I read this through, I was like, I do remember this, and I don't remember being in favour of it at the time, but reading it for a second time out loud, I'm starting to crash out, which I didn't think was going to happen, but it's just so stupid.
There's a particular thing here where it's like, it's not unheard of for loyalists and chaos to achieve similar goals. Like, hey, the Nids are here or the Orcs are here and everything is going bad. We both need to go kill them. But it's normally like, okay, let's stop killing each other for a little bit. And then after we're done not killing each other, we can kill each other. Right? Like it's very heavily a situation of like, okay, divert resources to destroy the giant threat. And then maybe we leave each other after that because we're so like damaged. Like working side by side is unheard of. Yeah, it's not unheard of. It's happened, but it's never happened well. It's never happened right. It's never happened like it's supposed to.
Especially with these two, like...
Yeah, the two that first met, the ones that really kicked off this cooperation with the sworn mortal enemies, one of whom was a Black Templar's, like, marshal in a dreadnought who is actively trying to hunt down the guy who put him in it, and then they're just like, we'll deal with this, and then,
I can't think of a worse rivalry than this.
No.
Yeah, it's like oh boy, it doesn't
the famously reasonable Black Templars as well of all of them.
What? Like, I'm trying to think of any other pairing besides like maybe Space Wolves 1,000 Suns that would be a more incorrect way to fight each other. I can't think of a single one.
It's batshit. Tyranids and
Yeah, I mean,
it's genuinely just batshit.
That's absolutely wild.
So we're gonna come back to that later in another episode because that side of the story not done. One thing, however, very much done. Back on Terra, Lord Commander Udin Macht Udo was still doing a bad job at making friends, and he made the strategic error of upsetting Draken Vangerich and Veritas. He did this by passing two motions. One was to ban the Inquisition from the Senatorum, and the second was to disperse the last wall. Which, again, that many Space Marines, I can see why they'd be nervous, but that was a big old attack moon, and you're on the back foot there. In a combined effort, Corlin marched to the Senatorum while they were in recess and confronted him. Udo attempted to brush him away and say that he was the Senate, but Slaughter had all of Udo's enemies on his side. Corlin selected his words as he would select targets, and from the impotent flush that came over the Lord Commander, he could see that they had found their mark. Even Udin Macht Udo could not attempt to deny the truth of them. By genetic birthright and for the Imperium of Man that he built, I claim the title of Lord Commander. Stand aside, Udo, that you may serve him without further impeachment of your honour. So with vocal, loud support from those slighted by the idiot, and a notable silence from the Fabricator General and Ecclesiarch Measuring, Chapter Master of the Imperial Fist Corlin, or Mr. Slaughter to you and me, was now the Lord Commander of the Imperium of Man.
So, DK, for help, this is the title Gilliman currently carries.
That's wow. So it's a real slaughterfest in here, eh?
Kill him. Kill him in real life.
Oh, no.
What? It is.
We need that Kool-Aid UPS man. We need him now.
Oh, no. I'm not answering the door today, man.
His first action It's so mental. It's really funny. So his first action as Lord Commander was very specific. He wanted to know why Mars wanted the attack moon, and better yet, what the Martians knew that they weren't telling the High Lords. But he did have a bit of help. When Corland was found, his specific, the person who found him, was a Magos, or Mango, biologist named Eldon Urkidex. I think that's how I'm pronouncing it. I think that's right.
It sounds like an Eldar name.
Sounds kind of orky, too.
I mean, Urquidex, Urquat, sure, whatever. It was a Magos named Eldon. So this particular Magos had, over time, grown tired of fabricated General Cubic and his inaction. He knew quite a bit, and plenty of this information is going to be very prominent next episode. What matters, though, is that he found himself in Vangrich's good graces and on Mars. However, upon the botched activation of a Vanus assassin on Mars that strategically avoided Urkidex, Admech artisan Argus van Orken called the bluff on this Magos biologist. He was sentenced to servitude in perpetuus. Jesus, this bit's got too many words I can't say. But he did have one last chance to make a difference, because he found out where the beast was, and he needed to commit it to his deep memory before his rationale was stripped from him. You know what, you can round us out, Bricky.
Oh, goody. Urquidex struggled against the augmatized grips that restrained him, screaming from the clemency of white phosphor. Van Auken glided back. You have done... am I speaking as a Mechanicus guy right now?
Yeah.
Okay, then I gotta do the Deltrian thing. You have done nothing but accelerate an outcome considered inevitable since the inception of the grand experiment. The Imperium will come, and they will not find the legions of Mars unprepared. Somehow, Urquidex's struggles... Urquidex's, Christ! struggles freed an arm. He lashed his digitools across the throat of the Scutarius, holding his other arm. Blood splashed his rebreather, and for a moment he was free. He spun around, screaming into the vid recorder as cold hands dragged him away by his robes. Ulanor! The beast arises on Ulanor.
Ah, the beast!
The beast.
We finally get mention of the beast.
So, is this the sixth book?
Yes, book 6. We have reference to the beast.
Yay! Halfway through, we get mention of the beast in the War of the Beasts, or beast,
and where he is and everything. And then you'd have to wait for the next book to come out to get anything else.
All right, poggers.
Ulanor, huh?
Ulanor. Urquidex's struggles on Ulanor.
Urquidex's struggles on
Ulanor. We're just ululating over here, everyone.
So what did you think of books 4 to 6?
This is so much worse than the first ones.
Yeah, this makes the first ones look downright logical.
If I'd have said to you at the start, if I'd have said that the Orc ambassadors are going to be the most sensible part of this, would you have believed me?
Not for a second. Not for a second. And that's how it ended up being.
I may believe you because, I know the book of the War of the Beast is stupid, but I did not think it would be like this.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
a lot.
It was
stupid. I didn't know it was this stupid.
Yeah, that's oh boy. I thought we could only go up, but apparently there's a new basement to go into.
We're very much playing snakes and ladders, but so far it's mostly snakes.
Yeah,
ladders.
Yeah, we are mainly doing snakes. This is definitely a snake-based situation here.
Yeah.
Have I just done another thing that means something here but not there? Is that
No, snakes and ladders. Well, snakes.
Okay, that's right.
Snakes and ladders. We have chutes and ladders. I think.
I was gonna say I know chutes and ladders. I've never heard of snakes and ladders though. I guess
I'm guessing it's probably the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're sliding down snakes. That's never made any sense to me. But
I mean, I would bet knowing American toy manufacturing, I would bet we literally just copied it from you and then replaced its name so that we can sell it in our own way without IP infringement.
Can I copy your homework? Tradition. Yeah, but don't make it too obvious. Chutes and ladders.
Yeah, you know that old Dare campaign where it's like, I learned it from you, Dad. That's how I'm feeling right now because of the because it's we're stealing from the Brits.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
But,
Fair.
you know, snakes and ladders was invented in ancient India, says Shai. You know, Shai, thank you for saying that, because I know that would be like half of the comments.
It's true.
That being said, if India, British, you know, I've seen
Well,
I was
RRR.
gonna say, yeah.
Well,
British stealing from India is on brand.
It's
I
happened
think
once
is
or
probably
twice
the
in the
nicest way of
past.
saying
Yeah,
it.
I guess. Yeah.
I
Anyway,
personally-
great episode, folks. That's a fantastic episode.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm definitely a much larger fan of Eel's escalators.
Yeah, totally.
Fingernails. All right. But before we end, DK, do you want to do a quick shout out?
Yes, if you enjoy grim dark universes other than 40K, stuff like Trench Crusade, or I think Shadowrun was on the list, or Battletech, you should check out the podcast that Kirioth, Shai, and myself are doing, Acceptable Losses. We have a new episode coming this weekend. I am sure there is a link in the description. You should check it out. We've only done one episode. It's been phenomenal. Kirioth crushed it. It was a Trench Crusade episode, and also all of the art assets that we have are just so bangerang, dude.
Everything looks so good.
Huh.
So good.
So you should check it out. Acceptable Losses. Do it.
Hell yeah. And for everyone else, for Adric, enjoy. We got 2 more weeks of War of the Beast, baby.
Let's go.
And as far as I am, Kirioth, out of curiosity, do you know if it gets better?
You know what? I would love to say that it does, but I'm going to settle instead for saying nothing.
I honestly thought you were going to say out of curiosity. And I was like, damn,
God.
that's what went through my head when you were saying it. I was like, damn, I would have gotten tongue twisted if I tried to say that. I would have said it.
Guys, the podcast is being hacked. It's the Eldar.